He was hired to protect her, but the real danger wasn't outside, it was the moment he realized he'd die for her. If you crave intense forbidden romance, slow burn tension, and jaw-dropping twists, hit subscribe now. Because this story, it doesn't just break rules, it destroys them. The moment Luca Hayes heard the words, "You can't touch her, you're her bodyguard," something inside him snapped, not visibly, not in a way anyone else could detect, but deep beneath the discipline, beneath the cold, trained exterior of a man who had survived war, betrayal, and a life built on silence. Because the truth was, Luca had already crossed that line long before anyone dared to say it out loud, and the worst part wasn't the danger, it was that he didn't regret it, not even for a second, not even when standing in the shadows of the Ashford estate, watching over Alara Ashford, the woman he was sworn to protect, the woman he was absolutely not allowed to love. Alara didn't belong in the world she was born into, a world of power, contracts, and whispered threats behind champagne glasses. She had always been different, softer, but not weak, kind, but not naive, and maybe that was why Luca noticed her the very first day he took the job, not because she was beautiful, though she was, effortlessly so, but because she looked at him like he was human, not just another weapon hired by her father to keep enemies at bay, and that look, that one moment of recognition, was enough to start something neither of them could stop. By episode 19, the tension had become unbearable. A silent storm building between stolen glances and late-night conversations that lingered a little too long. Alara would find excuses to pass by him, to ask unnecessary questions, to test boundaries she pretended not to understand, while Luca fought a losing battle against himself, reminding himself of the rules, of the consequences, of the fact that men like him didn't get happy endings, especially not with women like her. But everything changed the night the threat became real. The call came at 2:17 a.m. Luca was already awake. He was always awake. A breach in the East Wing. 3 intruders. Armed. Professional. Not random. Not a mistake. This was targeted. This was personal. And suddenly, this wasn't just a job anymore. He moved fast, silent, precise, lethal when necessary, and within minutes, the estate was locked down, but not before one of them got closer than they should have. Not before Alara found herself face to face with a masked figure in the hallway outside her room, fear freezing her in place just long enough for Luca to step between them, to take the blow meant for her, to end the threat in a way that left no room for doubt. That was the moment everything broke. Because when Alara saw him bleeding, when she realized he had taken that hit for her without hesitation, something shifted in her too. Fear turned into something deeper, something stronger, something that refused to be ignored. "You could have died," she whispered, her voice shaking. Luca didn't answer right away. He just looked at her. And for the first time, he didn't hide it. "I would have." That should have been the end. It should have pushed her away. It should have reinforced the line they weren't supposed to cross. Instead, it erased it completely. By episode 20, the walls between them were gone, replaced by something raw and undeniable, something neither of them had the strength, or the will, to fight anymore. Their conversations turned into confessions, their distance into proximity, and every moment felt like it was leading somewhere inevitable, something dangerous, something they both knew would change everything. But danger doesn't wait for permission. And neither does betrayal. Because what neither of them knew, what Luca couldn't have predicted, was that the threat wasn't just outside the estate. It was already inside. Episode 21 shatters everything with a twist that no one sees coming. The attack wasn't orchestrated by an enemy. It was ordered by Alara's own father. A test. A brutal, calculated test to see if Luca was loyal enough, or weak enough. And the answer? It was neither. Because Luca wasn't loyal to the job anymore. He was loyal to her. When the truth comes out, when Alara realizes her own father put her life at risk, the world she thought she knew collapses in an instant. Trust is gone, replaced by anger, heartbreak, and a burning need to escape a life that suddenly feels like a cage. And Luca, he's the only person she turns to. But running isn't simple. Not when you're the daughter of a man who controls everything. Not when the man protecting you is also the man you're falling for. Episode 22 becomes a race against time, a desperate attempt to break free before the walls close in again. Luca plans their escape with the same precision he's used his entire life, but this time, it's not just about survival, it's about a future he never allowed himself to imagine. They almost make it. Almost. Until the final twist hits. Luca's past, the one he never talked about, the one he buried so deep he convinced himself it didn't matter anymore, comes back with a vengeance. He wasn't just a soldier. He wasn't just a bodyguard. He was once part of the very network Alara's father is connected to. And worse, he was the one who trained the men who attacked the estate. Which means this entire situation, this entire nightmare, leads back to him. Episode 23 ends on a cliffhanger that changes everything. Alara stands there, staring at him, her heart torn between everything she feels and everything she's just learned. "Tell me the truth," she says, her voice barely holding together. "Were you protecting me, or watching me?" And Luca, for the first time, has no answer that won't destroy her.